Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Our Corner. I'm your host, Aaron, and with me today is a friend of mine, Ceder. Cat, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing better than I should be, probably. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And let's keep it going.
Nice. That's always great to hear. So, Kat, it's great to have you back. I know that we did an interview here, and we've posted it up a few times, but wanted to get your opinion on some things, especially as a veteran dungeon master for many years. How would you make monsters more lethal, especially minions?
We're talking like for a beginning game, advanced game. We're talking just for a game itself. Got to give the monsters intelligence. You can't base your character monsters on the monster manual or whatever source you're using as their intelligence, because it looks like an 8. An 8 is below average intelligence for a creature in the game. But you make them smart. They can do things. Make them have special abilities that give them an edge that players would not expect to see. Like, they make traps in their dungeon. It's their dungeon. They know where to go,
Right.
Give them the abilities that characters would have. Like, make one a barbarian, make one sorcerer, a wizard or something like that. Give them a little more oomph as opposed to just, hey, I'm a kobold. I run in and I kill you. That doesn't work for me.
And that's so interesting because a lot of the times when you're playing with monsters like kobolds, right, you make them very weak, very stupid, very just, I want to say that's cookie cutter. You
Very
pull them
much
right
so.
out of the book, you throw them in there, you're like, 1 hit point, 10 armor class, like they're nothing. Like just mow them down, throw them in like 5 or 6 of them.
Yep. And again, that's where people find that mistake. They put in, like you said, back in the old days, it was they had a half a hit die, which was 4 hit points. Nowadays, they have 8 hit points. But it's like, if you're going to have 30 or 40 kobolds, you're telling me they all do the exact same thing? I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to have a plethora of different things. Like I said, a barbarian, leader, a wizard, shaman, caster in the background, some thieves or assassins, because, they can learn those skills too. Put them in the dungeon that they know, their home, and, well, I can guarantee you some damage is going to be done. Spells are going to be spent to save your party members, because when that kobold hits you for, 1d6 plus 3d6 plus 2 damage, that's half of a lot of life for most people. And that's level 1,
yeah.
or level 5.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's how you look at it. But that's how I do it, though. Some people will cookie cutter it, like you said. It has 8 hit points, you hit it, you killed it, move on.
Right.
That doesn't sound like a fun game to me.
So, and it's really not, because I've ran a few that are exactly like that. I mean, everybody's at some point has probably run monsters where they're very cookie cutter, and you have to add that flavor texting.
Mm-hmm. I did it in the past, but then again, I didn't have as much knowledge back then as I do now. So I've learned over first edition, second edition, third edition. I'm like, these monsters are just pretty much repetitive. Let's add a kick. Let's add a twist. Let's add a little, the kobold that you're looking at suddenly, looks at you and smiles as you hit him with a short bow, and he sort of just takes it, rolls his shoulders back, cracks his neck a little bit, pulls out his battle axe, and starts frothing at the mouth and charging you. You're like, excuse me, what? He's doing what? He's charging at you with a battle axe. I don't want to get hit. Probably a good idea. I attack. Okay, you hit him. Didn't seem to do as much damage as it should, though. You're like, what do you mean? I did 8 points of damage. Should have killed him. I'm like, don't know what to tell you. He didn't seem to be very damaged by that attack as he hit you for 11 damage. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, you're almost dead? His second attack. What?
So that brings me to a very interesting question here. So you add kind of like, let's keep the kobold barbarian in mind, right? How do you keep that from being just a little more lethal to total party kill? Like, where do you start drawing the lines?
That is a trick that DMs need to learn quickly in their life, whether they're rolling their dice in front of the party, which I never recommend you do as a DM. Always roll it behind the screen. Because there could be that time when, say, I'm attacking you with my kobold barbarian, and you're a 4th level fighter or a 5th level fighter, and you have 50 hit points. I hit you twice for, say, 11 damage both times. So I hit you for 22 damage. Next turn, he's still alive. I roll it again. Oh, it was a crit. I don't want to critically hit you, because that's going to probably kill you in that shot.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, he just hit. Okay. Oh, he did 15 damage. Oh, he did 8 damage. Or I rolled a 1. Well, I don't want him to fumble, but he didn't hit you this time. You get to the point where you're looking at your party and you're like, do I really want a TPK? Yes, as a joke. But do I really want to do it as a DM and make party mad? Not really.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody that. Shh. For those of you that are watching.
That's our secret. That'll stay between us.
and the thousands of people that'll be watching this, right? Got it. But that's where the DM uses his own behind the dice. Like, oh, I hit you with a natural crit. Oh, he just missed you. Like, you could feel the blade go past your ear, but it didn't hit. Why? Because I don't want to kill your character. But those are what DM tricks are. You know, he's like, do I want to critically hit him and kill him? Do I want to just hit him? Do I want to just miss him so he stays alive so I don't kill the party member?
And that brings me to, that also brings up another question here, is that we talk about, like, not total party killing. But do you find that it's okay to take these monsters that are a little more lethal and actually have a party member that dies?
Oh, yeah. I do it. I've done it many times. I know that there's a cleric in the party. So, yeah, I'll drop the fighter. And then the next shot, even though the barbarian kobold has 25 hit points still, which is another thing I don't do. I don't do hit points. When I feel he wants to die, he'll die. When I feel he needs to keep going, he'll keep going. If he's an integral part of my plan of what I want to happen later, he escapes. So it just depends on what I want to do. But I try to make it so that it's interesting to the party and they're having fun. If they're not having fun, I've learned the monster dies on the next hit. That way they can move on, get away from it, and put it behind them. If they're having fun and they're fighting and they're getting really into it, he's still alive. So I may have killed the fighter that turn, but then the wizard's magic missile hits him and kills him. He just died. He only had 2 hit points left.
Gotcha. So it was like a final death throw that he takes down the fighter.
Right.
And then, you have that moment of like, well, holy shit, what happens next?
Right. And then the wizard attempts his spell, hits him, and he killed him. Again, even though he had 25 hit points left, I'm going to kill him now. Because the suspense and the climactic, the fighter's down. Oh, no, what do we do?
Yeah.
Oh, you just killed him. Oh, thank God. Quick, heal the fighter. Get him back up so we can...
Has this ever been a strategy that has like backfired where it's caused your party to be like upset with you that, like he took down the fighter, but then immediately after he drops?
Not really. Again, it has to be, you have to be intelligent when you do it. You can't do it every time. But if you look at your party and your party's got still 4 characters or 5 characters that are still fighting and still good, then he won't drop on the next hit. He'll take a few more hits before he finally goes down. But you got to sort of read your party members and see what they're doing. Like, if they're doing this on their phone while they're playing with you, then go kill him because he's not paying attention. But if the people are like going, yeah, yeah, I got him, quick, yeah, and they're getting really excited and playing, keep them around, keep them doing it, keep it going until you feel that, okay, this has been enough, and this has been 5 rounds of combat with this one barbarian, let's kill him now.
Gotcha.
And then he dies.
With the monsters being a little more lethal and kind of the strategy of like, hey, we want to have something that's unexpected but not a horrible surprise that goes horribly wrong.
Exactly.
How would you have a more lethal encounter that goes with that monster? I mean...
Well, now you're talking... So, literally, the easiest way to make the counter more lethal, add a second barbarian. Hey, the cleric's in the back and, he's doing his bless and... I just died.
There's no...
Am I still okay? Still good?
We'll see you next time. No,
I'm out here, folks. Thank you. Something that I do that people don't always expect is like they'll have the fighters in the front, a cleric in the middle somewhere, and usually the wizard in the back, slinging his spells. Well, somehow you just all seem to miss that kobold thief who just backstabbed the wizard. Oh, there's another one? God dang it, what do we do now? It's like the fighters are up here and the wizard's way back here, like 20 feet away.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to turn around and go charge that guy and save the wizard because he's squishy. That's how you make it a little more dangerous. Because now they're being attacked from another area, but not where they thought they were going to be attacked from. How come we didn't see him? He rolled a good stealth.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Or he was hiding up in the rafters somewhere and you just didn't look up.
Gotcha. And has that ever been like considered like a cheap shot where it's like, yes, you have like another rogue that's there, and it's like, well, we made spot checks and we didn't see him. Has anybody ever been like that?
Some people have been, disconcerted when that happens because they're like, oh, I looked around or I saw that. I'm like, you looked to the left and looked to the right. You never said you looked up. What am I going to do? I'm not going to say, hey, look up every turn too, because you could have a giant spider above you and drop down on you suddenly out of nowhere. It's like, where'd that come from? You didn't look up.
Right.
But of course, there's webs all over the place on that kind of stuff. Like, I look up. Oh, look at that giant spider. I back up and go, Mommy, and then light it on fire.
One of my favorites is, and this is something that I kind of put down as like a non-lethal encounter for monsters, is ambush, like a ooze that drops from the ceiling. Clearly my target is always someone that has like a high amount of armor, a cleric in like chainmail or a fighter in plate where they have to take the plate off in order to, save their hit points.
Yeah.
It becomes a point of like, okay, do I try to, does the wizard cast a fire spell to
burn the
ooze and potentially hurt
burn
the
the
fighter?
fire? Yeah.
Or does he get rid of the armor to save his hit points, and then it kind of becomes a conundrum?
Yep.
But
I've done stuff like that. I'll tell you one of my favorite things. I was just doing a game with, there was a paladin and a couple of a fighter, a war cleric, 2 rogues, and a wizard. Mm-hmm. And they were sifting through some debris that was in the dungeon. And hiding in the debris was a rust monster.
Oh.
And the paladin walked up and started sticking his sword in there to see what was in there. And the tentacle shot out and hit him in the plate mail. You know what he learned after that? A loincloth. Because that was it. He's like, what hit me? Don't know. He's like, I sift through them all. I'm like, you see a rust monster pop up. He goes, what? That's not fair. I'm wearing plate. Not anymore. And then they killed it. And then the cleric went over to the other pile and sifted in that one. And its mate was in that one. And he lost his chainmail.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they were very upset with me. But I'm like, hey, you guys didn't, look from afar. You just ran up and started poking. I knew they were there. I wrote them down as being in the heaps. Well, I didn't write it down, but I knew they were there because I put them there. And you guys just walked up and poked. And I'm like...
So it's like you do have consequences for your players on top of the encounters that you have for them.
Yeah, you have to. If not, if you walk through a dungeon every time you walk through it, you're always wearing plate mail and nothing happens. And another time I did it with the same thing, but somebody's wearing, this is back in 2nd edition, they were wearing +2 plate mail. Oh. And in a hidden room behind a hallway, so they're walking down the hallway and there's a hidden area where the creature was behind, but there was a little hole in the hallway that he could stick his nose through. And it was what's called a disenchanter. And he hit the +2 plate, and now it's plate mail.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's gotta be disheartening.
Oh, my buddy was pissed. He's like, I spent so much time on that plate mail. I'm like, yep, well, now it's plate mail. He was real pissed. But I gave him plate mail later, like 8 or 9 adventures later, he found another set of plate mail, but he held the grudge for a while.
Yeah, I can imagine. Whenever I see like dungeon masters, we read a lot of like cringe stories, and we hear about like dungeon masters who will give the party members like some sort of like magical item that's really good, and then immediately like just take it away. So it's like, they didn't get to use that, they didn't get to do anything with it, or like they'll give them a crutch that goes with it. So it's like he'll have a +2 plate mail, but you also, when you put it on, you lose half your health, and it's like.
I have a story for you then. So in the Temple of Unbelievable, which is my absolute favorite module, written by Gary Gygax back in 87, I think, 86, 87, somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. It's a kill module. I've run it a dozen times plus, and no one's ever survived. But I always have a cursed magic item in there. Just one. And it's for those greedy people who love to pick everything up and take it. So it's a longsword, not in a sheath, shining with a glint of light off of it, and as the light sources are hitting it. And usually the rogue is the guy who grabs it first, which is usually how I expect it to happen, because the rogue grabbed the sword, and the sword immediately said in his head, you are now a worthy paladin of whatever god I choose at the time. Welcome to paladinhood. And it immediately transformed them into a paladin. And like, cool. And then says, I'm a holy avenger. This is what I can do for you, all this stuff. The second the player gets hit, though, by any means whatsoever, the sword says, I'm sorry, you're not worthy, and teleports away. But you're still a paladin. And you cannot go back to being a rogue until you've passed your level in rogue as a paladin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they hate that magic item. That's why that quickly led my party to not just grab stuff anymore. Is it magical? Yeah, what to do? You don't know. You got to go pick it up. Like, I don't want to. Like, all right. Well, then we'll leave that sword there then.
So, and every time that I hear this, right, because like I'm imagining that when I use my table and my players, there's kind of like this unspoken rule. It's like it has to have very sound logic as to what goes on next and what transpires. But I can imagine as like new dungeon masters that are coming in and just barely getting started, how would you keep that from backfiring on a player and seeming more like a dirty trick than it is like an actual like, hey, this is a real thing?
Talking about my magic, my cursed item, I wouldn't give that to a new DM. I would, honestly, if you're a new DM, I would basically tell you to be prepared for everything going wrong. Or then don't prepare for anything. Because whatever you do will be right. So basically it means is you're going to go into a dungeon and just sort of think about how's my dungeon going to look. You walk in, you can go left and right. Well, you know the enemy is to the right, nothing is to the left. The party hears something to the left, they go right. Okay, good, that's where I want you to go. Or if you say there's a burning forest, burning wood somewhere, and the party is somewhere else, and I'm like, you see a wood, you see something on fire over there. All right, well, we're not going to go inspect it because there's no reason for us to go over there. Okay. Well, everything that was over there that was making the burning fire, the monsters or whatever, now they're on the left. They popped out and attacked you, or this. So you've got to be prepared for what your characters are going to do, because everything you may plan, and this is the biggest thing I find, you plan this great big adventure, and if everything goes a certain way, the party will go the other way. And you're like, what do I do now?
Right, and that's happened so many times that I can't even be.
We've had
derailings like crazy.
I see it all the time too.
My biggest inquiry is this: so you take these skills, like you take monster lethality, you take a little bit more encounter lethality, you mix it with things like cursed items. Mm-hmm. You do a lot that kind of makes the party stay on their toes and keeps them engaged.
Yep,
from what it sounds like.
And keeps them having fun. And as long as they're having, my goal is if you have fun, then I did my job right. Mm-hmm. If you were bored, I don't know what to say.
Gotcha. And so with that's also interesting, because when we pull back to like the cringe stories, we always hear is like you have that DM that like comes in, they've got like some sort of power trip or ego trip where it's like this game is going to run this way regardless of how the players play, and then you get to points where it's like, oh, they have cursed items that just are completely unfair and the rules don't really seem to match.
Yeah. You have those, as you said, a power hungry DM, and I played with them, and they're like, this game is going to go into the town, then the town you're going to go to the dungeon, and the dungeon you're going to go to here. I'm like, I want to go to the bread maker. No, but I want to go to the bread maker. Isn't this my game too? Well, yeah, but what? I want to go to the bread maker. Fine, you go to the bread maker. What do you want to ask him? So what's your bread like today? And what's your favorite thing? Rosemary. That's a good bread. I like that. Yeah. How do you do your bread? He's like, why are you asking this? I'm like, because you're trying to force us to do something we don't want to do. You never want to force your party to do something, because then people aren't going to be having fun. And again, they'll be, oh, my phone says, oh, I got a new text. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a funny big cat video. They're not having fun because you're forcing them to go a direction.
It's almost like at that point, dude, just play a video game.
Exactly. And play a game that is a single player, because no one's going to want to play with someone who is forcing someone to. I'm going to force you, Aaron, to have fun. No, you're not. Because if I don't want to have fun, I'm not going to have. I mean, I want to have fun, but you can't force me to do it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty easy, so you might just actually win that one. Like,
so
you're going to go right to the dungeon from the town. Okay.
All right, so then I'll change that. Tyler, do you want to have fun?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Okay, then let's role play and have some fun. Let's see what he wants to do. Let's not say you walk in, you meet this person, you have to go here now. But there's so much stuff I can see in the town.
So, and that's always something that I hear from a lot of players too, is that they feel like they're being bottlenecked. And when we talked about taking everything that's on the left and kind of putting it on the right, how do you stop that from being like a railroad?
What do you mean?
It's like where you're taking players and you're forcing them regardless of their decision. So like, say that I have that encounter that's on the left in the forest.
Gotcha.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then they go, well, we're going to go to the right. And then whatever happens that was on the left happens on the right anyways. Isn't that considered more of like a railroad experience?
It can be, and it can't. It can, because maybe you're moving what you want to happen. But at the same time, if the party doesn't go left and you need them to go right for like your dungeon's on the right, for example, then you just flip everything to the left. And now my dungeon's on the left. There it is. And same thing where you were going anyhow, just now it's over here instead of over here. For the the idea of the burning forest or a burning thing and them going left and sending right, the left could have just, suddenly it was a ruse. There was nothing really going on. There's some fairy fire. The monsters are really here on the right. But you don't obviously tell the party that. You just let them think they walked into a trap or whatever it was, just to keep the excitement and the adventure going.
So you kind of, I would say you disguise it as like an idea of like, hey, you guys actually ambushed them waiting for you to be ambushed.
Exactly, something. You can change it. And this is why you have a lot of DMs who have piles of notes in front of them and stuff like that, and I have none. Because I am very proficient in it with myself, and I've been doing it again for like almost 50 years, winging it. So I never have notes with me unless I'm doing West March, which is something totally different. We won't have to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But West March is, there's the store events that people come in and play. People make adventures, and you have to obviously read that and follow the notes. But when I do my own stuff, it's just like I have my laptop open, and quite literally, you can look at my laptop, and it would say, Aaron, playing Steve the fighter, Tyler playing George the barbarian, David playing Goliath the monk, and that's all it says. And then it'll have your passive perception maybe, hit points, and AC, which I never really use anyhow, but just sometimes it's fun to know what they are.
Yeah.
It's like, he has 40 hit points. I'm going to critically hit him for 73. You take 20 points of damage,
Right.
And that's all. That's my notes. And then if I give somebody a name, like, what's the bartender's name? Oh, his name is Alistair. Bartender's name is Alistair. I write it down so I don't forget it for later if somebody asks me, what was the name again? Oh, it was Alistair.
So improvisation is a very important skill that you use.
100%. Probably the most important thing a DM can use. Because again, like you said, that guy who is forcing you to go into his town and you want to go somewhere else, my story for that is I had a DM who had this giant campaign designed, and we happened to find out that some shape changers were running a mercantile business.
Wow.
So that was not on his list of things that he wanted us to do or even encounter. We went in, killed all them, took over them, and became merchants. He's like,
That's cool.
that is not what I had planned. I'm like, well, that's what we're doing. We're merchants in your game. He's like, how are you guys going to be merchants? We'll find out next week when we play again.
Yeah. Give you some time to figure it out, man.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I like. You get caught off the guard. Oh, you're merchants. Sweet. Let's be merchants. And then I'll just run with it. Like there was Drinking and Dragons or Game Day, where you do 3 different events. And I did 3 events on the same group of people, all 3 events, because it was a 3-part adventure. And they got to the 3rd part, and they found the bad guy, and he was running around the building, and they were chasing him, and I finally had to make it so that he blended in with some rogues that were there, and he looked homeless. They figured they caught him, though. And they said, okay, he's the main bad guy. I'm like, nope, there's another one. They're like, what?
Gotcha.
Wait, who'd we miss? I just made it some other guy that they had already encountered, and he was the bad guy instead. Because I didn't want it to end that quickly. I wanted to keep it going, and they were having so much fun with the mystery.
Right. Absolutely, that makes tons of sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
improv 1,000% is the most important thing for a DM.
I love that idea too, because I feel like even in games that I run, where like if I set it up as like this is the main bad guy, that I'm kind of stuck in that we have to, like, even when all the evidence points to him, it's like we could definitely improvise more.
Mm-hmm.
You
said, oh, hey, there's your main bad guy. Unfortunately, I forgot that he was being controlled by a wizard who's not here right now. Oh, damn. Where the hell's this wizard at? What clues did we miss? Don't know. Maybe go back to town and find out what clues you missed. And then you make up the clues as you go, and you're like, oh, yeah, you found a little piece of paper in this burnt building and it says, McAllister. Who the hell's McAllister? Go to the city records. McAllister. Oh, shit, he's a dark wizard. Damn it, how do we find him now?
Right. So
and that just wings off exactly what you were doing. It's just you got to improv it.
So you go from like place to place to be like, okay,
could be anything.
One to the other. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you're doing, where you are, what's going on. You can always make something happen or make something not happen.
So when you are coming up with like the next main bad guy, right? Obviously, bad guys, they have minions, right? They have people who are doing things. Mm-hmm. How do you go from like low-level monsters? Like you go from like kobolds that are a little more lethal to, like bugbears, which are
way more powerful.
How do you change them from being just outright full-on lethal to just that next step up?
Usually I will give people, they'll go into the tavern. They'll find a message board. Oh, my son was lost in the woods. Can you please find him? Well, they know kobolds are in there, but they beat the kobolds. So maybe it's not kobolds. Maybe it's something. Well, maybe it's orcs. Maybe it's ogres. Maybe it's an ogre. Maybe it's a bugbear, an etin. And then you just go from there. Just simply add another monster to the background. And if you want to tie them all in, you say, you seem to notice that on the back of the bugbear's neck, when you killed him, seems to be the hair seems to be a little shaved off there. It's like a little shorter than it should be. Oh, let me move the hair side. What do I do? Oh, you see a symbol of a black hand or a red circle or this or that. What is that? Don't know. Going to go research it. And then that's where that's my main bad guy is this guy. Oh, how do I get to him now? You fought a wizard and you killed him, but you notice he had a circle around his neck on the back. Oh, we saw that before in the bugbear.
So you start dropping that.
Just dropping those little hints, and the party eventually will pick up on it and then go from there.
Now, if you say you have this main bad guy, right? His symbol is that little circle on the back.
For example, yeah.
You have a party that's like, we're not going to look for that. How do you introduce that symbol?
Then you say that you go back into town, and you guys are in town, or something similar like this. You guys are in the inn or in the tavern, and you guys are sort of like checking out the patrons that are walking around or sitting around, and everyone will perception check. Oh, I rolled a 23. As you're looking around, you seem to notice one guy sort of his back to you, and you see something sort of on his neck, but you can't quite make it out yet. I go get a drink, and I look closer at it. Well, you move over to the counter, you look at the counter, you turn around and do that, look around the tavern kind of thing. It's a red circle. They're like, oh, that's one of those guys. Now the question is, do you want to start a bar fight with this guy, or do you want to follow this guy? And then if you start a bar fight, maybe something will happen. If you follow him, something else will happen. But again, it's all about winging it. You just make it up as you go. Now, you may have some notes of like, okay, my bad guy's in this house, and this guy knows where it is, and he's going to go to that house after he finishes his drink.
Yeah.
So is the party going to be patient enough to follow this guy? Is the rogue going to be sneaky enough to follow him while he's rooftop jumping to make sure he's not seen by anybody else? We'll see.
Huh. That's always, and I always appreciate insight, especially when someone who's been doing this for like years and years and years, when you start talking about like statistics, when you start talking about how to make things more engaging, it's always interesting. I mean, I don't think that I can really explain it enough how much it like starts to get in, because when I started looking, I was reading books from like producers like Sly Flourish, where they talk about like different encounters, like kind of just making sure that your prep work is strong, but at the same time,
prep. What's that?
You're right. I don't want to be like Batman, where I have prep time all of the time, and then
I have no prep time. I could literally run both you and Tyler right now in an adventure that would be enjoyable for both of you. Everything on top of my head. Like I ran one. When was that? What's today? Saturday? I think it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday. We were at another game adventure we were doing, and we were all sitting there waiting for the DM, and that was that really bad raining day.
Yeah.
And the DM couldn't make it.
Oh no.
It's like, so we're gonna go home. I'm like, why? I'll DM. Like, what do you have prepared? I'm like, nothing. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm positive. And by the time the adventure was done, 3 people congratulated me and saying that was one of the best adventures they've been on. Wow. Did you make all that up right there at the moment? I'm like, yeah. The only thing I had in front of me was my dice tray. I'm like, no notes, no paper, no nothing. But this all came to a giant fruition when in 1986, when I was at Strategicon, which is now I was at Orcon, which is now Strategicon, and I made a mistake sitting in the open DM section, and I had my player's handbook, pad of paper, and a 2-liter bottle of soda. 72 hours later, I left that spot after DMing straight through the entire time.
Oh, wow.
The only time I took a break was to hit the head, go to the bathroom. That was pretty much my big thing. However, that big claim to fame didn't make me get to meet, although I didn't realize it was him, was Gary Gygax.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know it was him. But people were watching my game. Like, you're still here? I'm like, I haven't left. What are you doing? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just making it up as I go. And people are playing. I'm like, I had 16 players playing at one time. Yeah, people are playing. And one guy was with me the entire time. He never left either. He was here for the same thing I was, to go play in D&D games. He ended up playing in mine.
So it was you and him.
No, there were 16 of us at one time.
Oh, I meant like you and him that just never moved.
Yeah, so he left a few times to go get food for us, or go to the bathroom. But yeah, he was there all 3 days, just like I was. I'm like, I tell you, when I got in the car to go home, whoop, I was done. I was out like a light for the 2-hour drive home. Walked into my apartment. walked onto my bed, and the next day I woke up. I'm like, and I learned to never do that. I did learn one very important value, though, I'll tell you, besides how to make shit up and become very good at what I do now.
What's that?
If you are ever in a table where there's 8 people, 9 people, 10, have everybody pre-roll their attack rolls and damage rolls, whether it be for an attack or a spell. Make like 10 to 15 of them and keep them in a line. And then you go, oh, I rolled a 3, 6 damage, I missed. Mark that line off. I rolled an 18, 8 damage, I hit. Mark that line off. And that way combat goes like that. Instead of having 8, 10 people, what do you do? 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 People are like, do that shit prior. Write down the spells. Excuse me. Write down the spells you want to do, or if you want to do a base like a fireball or something like that. Write it down. Write down your damage and have it prepped. So when I say, how much damage you do? Oh, 38. DC 14. Great. I saved. Okay. This guy. They'll all die. This guy takes some damage. Moving on.
Wow. They're not built like that anymore, man. That's insane. Because even hearing people. When they talk, they're like, yeah, we play about 10, 11 hours. I'm like, that's a long time. But you're talking about, like, you did
3 days.
3 days.
Of course, also back then I was 16, so I was much younger than I am. I couldn't do that now if I tried.
Yeah.
I can do 12 hours because I've done it here several times all day long from 11 to 11. But
Wow.
I don't think I could do that much time again. But you never know. I mean, I could get into a game that's stupidly enjoying and it's so much fun that I forget about time and we just keep playing.
Wow. Yeah.
So, who knows?
Awesome.
Tyler, when we playing?
Tyler, when are we playing?
He's like, oh.
Hang
Don't
on.
include me in this silly
I think he's
conversation.
jumping in. Hold on. Has he got?
I'm just enjoying it. I'm just letting you guys talk. Like, you guys are doing great. Just
You are too, man. We love you.
Yeah. Nothing but love. But, well, perfect. Well, Kat, I want to thank you for coming on again. It's always great. We look forward to having you on even more. Going
I appreciate
over
it.
other subjects as
Yeah.
well. But thanks for being on our corner.
Of course, man.
To the rest of you, we'll see you next time.